Hey everybody, and welcome to Project Premium Harvest. My name is Matt. I'm going to be going over the moves I made in my portfolio over the last 10 days. I did not make a round hill and a yield max video because there was a bomb cyclone that went through the Pacific Northwest, lost power for about 3 days. So then just getting life back to normal after that was quite interesting. Finally made the time. Here's my video. I did a couple of major changes in the portfolio, right? So the first thing I did is I bought about $17,000 of xdte at about $52.33. And then my other major change was msty, which I bought about $5,000 after ex-dividend. So that's when the price dropped. And then I'm going to talk about a failed trade I made, which was just sloppy on my part, but I think it's definitely need to call out our mistakes so that we can learn from them and so that you don't make the same mistakes, right? But you guys know me. First thing I like to do on my channel is to show my portfolio. And so right now the portfolio is at about $115,673.88. I think from when I started, this is the first time that it's actually stayed this kind of a high number. So I think this is a portfolio first all-time high. So that's kind of cool that I'm sharing it with you guys. It's only about 6 months in the project, and I've increased this account by $13,000 and then pulled out about almost $29,000 to pay back a HELOC loan. So that's quite impressive. And I appreciate you guys for following me on this journey. So let's see here. Okay, so that's the portfolio value. That's where it's at right now, about $115,000. And then, so let's talk about just the different holdings I own. All right, so let's talk about nvdy first, right? So nvdy, I have about 6,000 shares of nvdy. I definitely think when you invest into yieldmax funds, that yieldmax is momentum only, right? So the two top players for yieldmax right now, I definitely think are nvdy and msty. Msty is by far better than every single one of them. That's the one regret I have over this project over the last 6 months, is not investing into msty. I'm going to be very transparent. I did not believe in Bitcoin. I did not believe in msty and mstr. So I was very hesitant, and I thought it would be an absolutely terrible investment. Boy, am I wrong. And I will be the first one to admit it. And so right now I'm kind of trying to wrong my rights. I bought about $5,000 worth of msty at about $38. I'm a little bit down. I'm down like $200 from that initial purchase, because at ex-dividend date, this price went down to about $38 a share. It went down even past that, so it's at 36. But I don't plan on stocking up on more shares anytime soon. I think msty is going to go up as Bitcoin is going to go up. So that's kind of my play. Am I going to hold it through the distribution payment? It's hard to say. We'll see how this performs. I don't know. I've been a skeptic of Bitcoin before, but now I'm starting to slowly believe. I know it's a pump right now and everything looks green and don't need to have FOMO, but I definitely think Bitcoin will definitely go a little bit higher, especially with this next administration. They're very pro crypto. Don't exactly know what that means. We'll know when the first policy comes out, but just everything they're saying and what they're dealing with so far is definitely looking positive. And then with that, I've heard crazy numbers of where Bitcoin can go. So it's kind of my 2 cents on msty. So I wanted to get about $5,000 in. If it gets up to like $40 a share, I might sell out. If it goes back up to 45, I might sell out. I don't know. So this msty is not like a permanent addition to my portfolio. Nothing here is a permanent addition to my portfolio. I just kind of do things as momentum is going. Stock as momentum is going. So yeah, we'll see how msty plays out. But like I said, for xdte, about $17,000 worth of xdte at about $52.33. It's already up, I think a couple, like 2-3%. And I could pull out another $300 and completely sell out again. But I think I'm just going to use xdte for a little bit to kind of hold my money. I want to see how the rest of November plays out, the rest of December. And then once the next administration happens, like what's the stock market going to look like? So I'm going to be a little bit patient. I'm not going to throw my money into any crazy investments yet. msty is kind of like shooting from the hip. So we'll see how it plays out, but that's kind of where I stand. And then every time I make money from just running options, I pretty much am just going to feed it into these 3 safe accounts, so JEPI, JEPQ, and xdte. So that's kind of my foundation. I think this is like a trench line for my account, right? Because I used to be a military guy. It's the offensive is like running the options and investing in a yield max where they run options calls for you. You make a ton of money from them, but then you have to take that money and put it somewhere. And so basically that I want to take that money that we gained, that ground we took, that territory we took, and then I want to solidify it by making a trench line. That trench line is xdte, jep, jepq. So that's this is the way I envision my investing strategy right now. I think jep, jepq, and the xdte is going to be more of like a permanent part of my account. But it's just something that pays you monthly or weekly, and it's relatively nav stable. And then just the yield max and msty stuff, it's all just take that territory, but then these safe accounts are locking those gains in. All right, and the last thing I wanted to highlight with my account is my margin amount, because that's kind of important. So I'll just kind of give a quick rundown of what I did to get this account to $115,000. So in about May, I took about an $80,000 HELOC loan against a rental property I loaned. If you don't know what a HELOC loan is, it's home equity line of credit. So basically, from the price you bought the home to the price it appreciated, that difference, they're letting me borrow that difference. And so they gave me $80,000 cash, well, $81,000 cash, and then threw it in my bank account. I'm like, I'm going to throw this into Robinhood and then borrow against it so that I can make a monthly income stream and then use the velocity of money to propel me to my goals faster, right? I don't want to spend the rest of my life, the best years of my life, the healthiest years of my life working for somebody else, right? So I'm investing in a 401k, Roth, backdoor Roth, and investing in an HSA, have a rental property. So I'm doing all the right things with my money like that. But the thing is, I'm doing all the right things, but I don't want to work for another 30 more years. So, we'll see if that's a reality. I don't think this is going to happen overnight. I think for this project to be successful, I think me and my brother, we came up with like a 4-year timeline to see if this project is successful or it's not. I think the date where we come up with a conclusion is about June 2028. So we'll see if that works. But basically, yeah, to kind of sum it up, took a HELOC loan against a rental property I own. It was about $80,000, threw it into Robinhood, then borrowed against it using margin. And with that margin, this is where we're at right now, right? So Robinhood will let me borrow 3 times my current value in the portfolio, but I've been bit by margin before. So I wanted to be a little bit safer, right? So I put a max threshold of about $100,000 of my account. So I don't want to borrow more than 100% of my account, because any market downturn, you're going to be getting margin call. It's never a good feeling. But there's different risk mitigation strategies you can take to prevent yourself from being margin called, right? So 1, putting a limit, and then 2, kind of coming up with like a safe number. So even though I have a $100,000 limit, I only really like to borrow about $75,000. So that $75,000, I want that money to work for me. And then that $25,000 left over, I only like to use that money if there is a high probability play that's going to go in my favor, right? And so what I mean is, like, say, for example, the stock market goes down, $20, right? Like that, say for SPY goes down $20. So it's trading at 600, then it jumps down to 580, right? So I know for a fact that there's a resistance point. It's around 580, 585. So around that period, I'll buy a call because I've assumed that the stock market's going to go up. And if you look at the history of the stock market, it usually goes up. So I like to do high probability plays with that $25,000 because, 1, it is borrowed money, but it has to be high probability. I'm not risking money I don't have to make more money, But that's kind of where I'm at with that. And there's a $101 pending order. I'm actually going to buy xdte on Monday. All right, guys. So now I want to talk about my butcher trade. I'm just going to give you an idea of what I was looking at and how the mistake happened, right? As you can see in red, this is the butchered mistake. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a massacre, but it's definitely something that I was being lazy. I wasn't paying attention to the trade I was doing, that I lost money. So basically what happened was on Wednesday or Thursday, I saw the stock market drop a little bit, right? Went down to about like a 586, 585 resistance point. And then for me, I was thinking, okay, let me buy a call so that I can, watch it go back up to like the $595 to $600 mark, right? I accidentally put in a put for a $1,600 put, and then instead of a call. So instead of the market appreciating going up, I was betting that it was going to go down. And then I was specifically wanted to buy a call, but I bought a put. So then when I bought it, I wasn't paying attention. And then I saw the stock market going up. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be making a ton of money. I'm going to get my quick, $100, $200 and then pull out. And then I wasn't making that kind of money. And I was like, oh, I looked at the order and then I bought a put. So I quickly sold out. So I bought, this put at about $1,619 and I sold out at about $1,601. So I basically lost about $18, but I was doing this in my bed on Robinhood. I didn't pay attention to see if it was a call or put because I recently just bought, a couple of puts that made me money. So I just wanted to call out, whenever you do your options, you got to be careful because this, $18 problem or $18 loss isn't that much money in the grand scheme of things. But say if I didn't pay attention for this call, I didn't set my limits, I didn't, watch this specific option and set stop losses, I could have lost hundreds of dollars in this exact same scenario, right? So there's money like these $55 and these hundreds of dollars I was making that could have went on the opposite spectrum. I could have lost, but luckily I had a stop limit set, and then it sold out pretty much immediately once it didn't meet a threshold. Yeah, I just wanted to call out, but throughout the month of November, though, I would have to say that I've made a pretty good chunk of change trading options, and I'm going to go show you another graph in a second here. Yeah, so if you look at my totals for the month of November so far, it far blows away anything I've done the previous 3 months. I made about $3,690.88 in the month of November. It's not over, but I definitely don't think I foresee any plays happening that I'm going to be interested in. Plus, I want to wait until the market is over, or the end of the year is over. You don't know how it's going to fluctuate, what's going to happen, if the hedge funds are going to sell out, buy in. It's hard to say, so I'll just kind of wait till the new year before I really start making more plays. But with that being said, I'm not going to throw away an opportunity to make money. So I have that $25,000 of margin ready to jump in and play. Once it goes my way, sell out for that quick little jab, quick money. I'm not looking for a home run. But yeah, let's look at this other graph. So in total, so far, of doing profit hit runs or just normal options and trading, things like that, I made about $5,791 on top of all of my yieldmax money. So that's kind of a pretty good chunk of change, right? I'm trying to make this almost like not necessarily a hobby, but like a secondary income, so that eventually this account will have a ton of money in it. And then maybe I won't have to do my day job anymore. I can just trade on the side, make enough to live off of, and then just be content like that. So we'll see. I would like for yieldmax to just automate the whole process, but from how much NAV erosion and how yieldmax does their payments, it might not be a viable option as a long-term holding. So learning the skill of trading yourself might be important. So that's kind of why I'm adding this here, trying to grow my skill set, grow my strategy. I have the passive stuff coming in, but I also want to make some stuff actively, just paying attention to the market, understanding the market conditions and things of that nature. All right, guys, to wrap up this video, I'm going to do a call out to my brother, Mike. He is the Not Guru Investor. He is been doing this YouTube game and investing game a little bit longer than me. He has an account of about $234,000 of money he made through his investments and his money that he put into his account. For me, I like to put my money into safe retirement accounts. And then this project is specifically about how could I leverage debt to make more money. And so that's kind of how our two different channels, or two different perspectives. So if you want to learn about doing the debt stuff, definitely listen to my channel. But if you have money that you've saved over your lifetime, his channel might be a good to take a look at as well. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up this video here. We talked a lot of good stuff on this video. Talked about how my portfolio has changed over the last 10 days. Added my $17,000 xdte position. I'm already up on it. I could cash in at $300, but we're going to be patient. I just kind of want to use it as my trench line to kind of hold my money temporarily, make a little bit of profit. I'll probably be making somewhere between $80 to $100 a week with the premium from xdte. Then I bought about $5,000 of msty. I definitely think with the next administration, crypto is going to go a lot higher. With that being said, we don't actually know if that's going to be the case or if that was just a talking point to get them elected. Hard to say, but more to follow on that. And then I talked about my butchered put, which should have been a call, but we all make mistakes, wanted to call it out. And I wanted to be transparent that, yes, I did make a mistake, but I had the right risk mitigation strategy. So it wasn't a massive loss. It was $18. That's what it cost me to go park at work. So it's not necessarily a big deal, but we have to learn from them and be wary so that we don't make the same mistakes again. Yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that msty trade. If was that a good idea? Did I just throw away $5,000? Let me know what you think about the xdte, my options. Talk about your failed option strategies or option fails. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Love you guys. Enjoy your journey. Have fun out there. See you at the next video. Hopefully it'll be like Tuesday or Wednesday.